Good evening, friends. Uh, Now, what kind of awakening I do wherever I go? Rather, I start with this comment. Possibly 95% of people who are listening to me are cyber criminals, as of now. Now, you would like to have justification also, right? When I'm alleging. So, I would like to ask one simple question. Do you have MP3 songs in your mobile phone? Yes or no? So if you have this MP3 songs and if you didn't purchase it, then as per IT Act, you are a cyber criminal. Okay, because my law says anybody who downloads or copies any data without the permission of the owner. Rather, in India we have a culture. We don't know that this should be bought. Okay, we are happy with it. We don't buy and we feel it is our national democratic right to have all this softwares and songs for free. So, now normally I start with, you all carry pen drives in your pockets, and the moment you see some kind of data or PDF file, the immediate intuition to you is putting that pen drive and copying it without the permission of that person. So you commit crime number one of your life there, and that's called data theft. And we keep doing this because we have these three national keys which Microsoft has given to us: Control A, Control C and Control V. So these are national keys, we do it without fear, our kids learn, and even kids are not told that these are actually violating somebody's copyright. It is actually data theft when you do it for any kind of material gain. So, my topic today, what I chose, is cybercrimes that corporates should know. It's rather corporate should know, or every single individual who is an IT user. And I would not be wrong if I say all the mobile phone users are IT users, because my IT Act says mobile phone is also a computer. Okay, it's a communication device which has been used in our definitions. So let's go one by one. How does it fierce up? Now, many a times people don't know that India doesn't have any law which is called cyber law in the country. We don't have any law which is called cyber law, but just loosely spelled word which everybody utters. And when they try to find out, they don't find any documented literature. Okay, this is called cyber law. So what is India's cyber law called then? Do you have Data Protection Act? We don't have any act which is called Data Protection Act. Then what do we have? We have only single mother act, which is combination of all. That is IT Act, E-Commerce Act, Data Protection Act. The privacy, some part also is covered here. And that, my dear friends, is called the Information Technology Act 2000. That's the basic name of the act. But still people write Information Technology Amended Act of 2008. So the whole act is actually called the Information Technology 2000, amended by the Information Technology Amendment Act of 2008. So this is a big name of India's cyber law. So we don't have, first need to be aware, we don't have any act which is called cyber law in the country. Let's go further. I will go to the most important part. Our government has defined what is called sensitive personal data. In fact, I find people, they keep on asking me, do you have cyber law? Then they'll ask me, is our cyber law very stringent? Now let me tell you, we have the most stringent law compared to the whole world. We practice in various countries across the world. Now you would say, are we so expert in law that we made our law so strict? No, it's blessing in disguise. We were late, so we got the latest. So we cut, copy, paste from all the other laws which were present. Somewhere there were punishment only 6 months. We added to 3 years. Okay, so we wanted our flavors. Somewhere the penal punishments were less. We added it more. IT people earn more, let them give more money to government. Okay, so this is how we have evolved. So our legislation, our law is actually a very modern law which is even been revered by UK and US. I've been to various embassy meets where ambassadors had come and they were found asking me about our law, and they were really prejudiced with what we have written, the piece of law. So what is sensitive personal data? See, corporates, if you see my 43A, compensation for failure to protect data. So any company, any small company, including a proprietary company, I'm not talking about private limited company or public limited company, if it fails to follow reasonable security practices, that's what written in the law, or for securing sensitive personal data. Now what is sensitive personal data? It's been defined in the law. This is not my definition. So password of a person is sensitive personal data. Financial information of bank details. Now let me make you aware, I just had a case where the ex-employee of the organization was sued by the employer because he left the employer and joined the competitor, and at the CEO level. So what this guy did, the original employer, it's a German company, they took the printout of his bank statement by having an influence in the bank, and they produced the bank statement in the court of law to make a cheating and kind of matter, and sued this guy. Now this bank statement is a sensitive private data which no bank can share except the owner, except to the owner. So what has happened, they have put a case of 25 lakhs. We went ahead and put a case on 1.5 crores rupees because it was a straight evidence. When you take a printout of a bank and you produce in the court of law, because any documents you produce in a court of law is on affidavit. It's on oath. That means you are agreeing that you got this document somewhere. Now what is the problem? We put a case on this guy saying that he hacked into my account and got that printout. We are 100% knowing that this printout was given to them by bank. But bank is very big. Why would bank agree now? Okay, we gave you printout. So now he's stuck. He keeps telling police, bank gave me. Bank says we never give anything like this because bank is aware. Now they are at fault. Okay, so sensitive personal data. You guys have some data about somebody. When you want to share it to the second party, you need to take the permission of the owner. If he denies the permission, you can't share the data. You should know your rights. You should know what you should do and what you should not do. Third is physical and psychological and mental health condition of person. You really can't pass on all these details, physical details, sexual orientation, medical records. So hospitals also can't pass on the data. See, giving you an example, now suppose you have given a lot of data to SBI Bank, and SBI Bank wants to use it for the marketing purpose of SBI cards. They can't do it because they both are to different legal entities. I'll not stress here much. Come back to it a little later. So, coming back to the offenses part, you should know more on offenses because many a times innocently you do a lot of offenses. So many people carry viruses on their pen drives quite often, their friends and foes. So the moment you put the pen drive in somebody's computer and your virus infects his computer, you have committed crime number 3, possibly whatever in the route we are discussing. That is spreading of computer contamination. So next time be worried. Whenever you take your pen drive and put it into somebody's computer, and if there is a virus, you add it. He can file a complaint against you in the nearest police station, and the penalty is only 3 years of imprisonment and only 5 lakhs of penalty. So you decide next time what you do, what your deeds are. So my section 66, which is the most worried section in the whole of IT Act, It goes like this, if you could read it. It says, any person dishonestly or fraudulently. These two important elements are there, dishonesty and fraudulence. Then people can argue with me, that when we copy MP3 songs, we are not dishonest. We do it very honestly. But is that fallible? When you know that this is causing loss to somebody, loss of money, loss of copyright, is that fallible? It really doesn't, right? Okay. So he shall be punished with imprisonment up to, which may extend to 3 years, with fine which may extend up to 5 lakhs, or with both. So both can happen. Okay. Now this is section 43, which I don't want to repeat, but let me assure you, our IT Act has defined till H 10 types of different examples of crimes. Let's go one by one. Any of these crimes, if he does. Now our IT Act is so simple that suppose you commit data theft on somebody. So you got two options. One, the criminal action, other, the civil action. What is the criminal action? You go to the nearest police station, file a complaint against him, police will look after him. But the data may be costing to you 10 crores or 20 crores. Then who will give you 10 crores? Then what you do is, you file a case with the adjudicating officer, the Tamil Nadu state adjudicating officer, who is the IT secretary of the state. And Tamil Nadu and Maharashtra are the two states whose adjudicators are very active. Other state adjudicators are not known to many people also. Okay, so you can take the advantage of actually getting the compensation out of them. Okay, so an adjudicating officer will award damages, not a court, up till 5 crores of rupees. Now, if you want compensation above 5 crores, you can go to the nearest civil court of jurisdiction. Now let's come to what are the various crimes which have been discussed here. So anybody copies PDF files, now JPG files in his pen drive or micro SD card without the permission of the owner. Now let me give you another interpretation also. Many people have habit of forwarding their corporate mails to their personal ID without actual permission of the management. Now that also amounts to data theft. This may not be objected by your management when things are all very good with you. The moment things get hunky-dory, they will take the same incident and can sack you. We have helped many corporations to do this, so that's why I know. So you have to be very aware when you are forwarding something to your private mail. So the exchange of mails, because it is equivalent of forwarding some important information to the private domain. And you must have heard about Google a lot. Google keeps everything what you search on that search box. So if you want to try, you can always try. Go back today night, type something, search something in Google. Tomorrow morning, those ads would appear on the right and left hand side of the Gmail, because they know what your test is. What are you searching? So I should better give you the ads which are bound to be clicked. So what kind of data is been under theft is also important, because data also has values. Many organizations have huge amount of data, but they don't write any kind of value. There is no valuation. Rather, there is no even insurance which has been taken out of data. So a lot of things to be done in Indian parlance when it comes to data. We just only talk about data protection widely and vividly. Next is, I was talking about this, if you download .mp3.mpeg for songs, distributing free songs or videos, I just want to put small point of provocative thought in your mind. Have you ever thought why songs.pk, which is a Pakistani site, a country which doesn't have big technology to make essential goods, distributes free MP3 songs belonging to Bollywood? Then you should be aware, the files you download from songs.pk sites are always laced with Trojans, spyware softwares. Okay, so be aware. These are cross-country cyber warfare guinea pig sites. So you have to be aware about what kind of site you're accessing, what you're downloading, and where you're downloading. Be careful on this. Compared to your IT Act, yes, this is a crime under section 66. So if you cut, copy, and paste data or information, that also amounts to crime without the owner of website. I gave this example of employee keeping forwarding mails to their own email ID. I told you about the pen drive. See, I want to just escalate this virus-related crime. If many people here are always forwarding certain mails which bestow some kind of luck on you. Possibly you have a photograph which is of Tirupati or Mahalakshmi or Ganapati, which you got a message, you forward to 8 people and luck will be bestowed upon you. And I know all the Indians are unlucky, so they keep forwarding to get that luck, okay? And it may come at the moment where some work has to be done, and everybody is in the same transition. Nobody is a person whose some or other work is not stuck, so he'll forward. It so happens that it contains a steganographic message, an embedded message from a terrorist organization to his terrorist sleeper cell to bomb certain railway station. And you are one of the guy who has forwarded it. You can imagine what would happen to you. Second, Trojans are even embedded in Excel files, even JPGs, even doc files. So you should be aware what kind of files you're forwarding. Mind it, if your forwarded files bring some kind of communal disharmony, then it is called cyber terrorism. And it's a non-bailable offense, my friends, with punishment up to life. So you decide what to do, when to do. Now, because this is a networked world, let me give an example. I've got a lot of celebrity clients. Now I have one of my celebrity client, her name is Poonam Pandey. She is a model, famous for being famous. Now, what she does, God knows. But she had one photograph present on the internet where she was standing, very short clothes, on her hand was Vishnu, and her photograph of that Vishnu, that face of the Vishnu was Sachin Tendulkar. And captain of Pakistan team was kneeling down to Poonam Pandey. This photo was morphed, available on the net. You won't believe this photograph was the reason for riot in West Bengal. And 2 people died. And Mamata Banerjee had to give a statement on this. Can you imagine how small world has become? A model from Mumbai does some mischief, or somebody else does mischief on a photograph, and there's a riot in other state where 2 people die. Okay, so you need to be aware about what is written, what has been put, how it is forwarded. Okay. Initially, there were various people, I don't know what kind of array of the audience is, but I need to tell you, people used to delete the files and be okay with it. My IT Act is also covering if you delete any kind of information, if you corrupt any kind of information, then also it is punishable under section 66 of the IT Act. Section 65 and section 66, section 43J read with 66 is very important section for source code theft. We talked about a lot of startup companies, but sometimes the crude truth is many startup companies bank on softwares which has been taken away from their previous employees. I'm not talking about all the software companies. And when such thing happens, the original company may actually file a case under section 65, section 43J with 66. And my dear friends, this is taken seriously. Also, this is also a copyright violation. So, all these sections been applied, and these are all cognizable offenses. Cognizable offenses means police will just call you for investigation. Please come. And the moment you come, they'll ask you to call your relatives to take away all your belongings. So next day bail could be taken. Okay. So be aware about stealing source code, and you have a remedy also now for people who are suffering this. Till now, my dear friends, everybody knows only one kind of IT offense, that is called hacking. People feel there is only one IT offense, that's hacking. And our IT Act is so intelligent that it says every other IT offense happens by hacking. It starts with the hacking. Hacking, data theft, these are all words defined in the Act. They have to be interpreted, wide and vivid interpreted. Now I'll give you what is written in the Act. If you could read it properly, I'll give you some interpretation and you will be horrified to know how does this interpretation can be elongated. See, it says anybody who accesses or secures access to such computer system, communication device, blah blah. Now let's take an interpretation of it. Anybody who accesses, I hope now everybody is clear, mobile phone is also computer. So anybody who accesses the mobile phone. Now imagine how many times in your life you must have done hacking, at least of your wife or wife of their husband. And we have a favorite time pass of guessing anybody's password we like. So what are you trying to do? You are trying to secure access into his mobile phone or into his password. So the moment you try to guess the sequence of the mobile phone, you are actually committing hacking by the interpretation of the Act. Securing access means taking mobile phone out of his hand. See, I'm not going to deepness of breaking the passwords, going into the network. They all people know. Those are all. But section 66 can get applied in all the such situations also. Because the definition is like this. I hope you understood when I started with saying our Act is the most modern, okay, in across the world. Okay. So we have plucked all the loopholes. Okay. So imprisonment up to 3 years or fine up to 5 lakhs. Now just want to halt, people may have doubts because I took example of husband and wife. So let me tell you a case study where this happened in Mumbai. Wife had given a divorce notice to the husband, and you know, as per Hindu Marriage Act, you need to have concrete grounds specified in the law for getting divorce. We just can't say we just can't live with each other. That doesn't happen to be a valid reason, even though now it is accepted more or less. So one of the best grounds is adultery. So what did the wife do? Wife went into the chat logs of her husband, her estranged husband, and emails of the husband, took some printouts what he was having with his female friend and produced before the court, family court, saying my husband is cheating on me and this is the printout. The husband was intelligent, took all that evidence, went to the adjudicating officer, said my wife has committed identity theft and hacking on me. So when the case was argued, the defense has to say, means the wife lawyers had to say, marriage is a bond of trust and wife can get into husband's account. The adjudicator of Maharashtra was so intelligent, he said, the moment divorce notice was served, the bond was broken. So there is no question that wife can go into the husband account, and she was fine. Okay, that doesn't mean when you are married, you can get into each other's accounts. Huh? There are still privacy laws. Huh? You can't actually devoid anybody of privacy. Abetting hacking. See, anybody who helps hackers gets the same punishment of hacker. So employers should be aware. If you are not following reasonable security practices, if you are not having firewalls, IDS, antivirus, softwares which monitor, and because of which your employee successfully hacks into somebody else's account, along with that employee, you would be also made parties. So therefore I keep saying it's a right time for CISOs of the companies that they carry an anticipatory bail in their pocket all the time. You never know when a hacker in your company would be arrested and you would be also called along with them. Okay, so it's always better to have that in one of your pockets. So abetting hacking is also a crime. Now our discussion can't really go without discussing the only section which suddenly become popular across the India, and that is 66A. Until the Palghar incident happened, I have my session in Palghar on 2nd of March only on this topic, and there's a public session, around 1200 people may attend. Punishment for sending offensive messages. No, until this day, none of my friend had ever called me before writing anything on the Facebook. But after Palghar incident, everybody sends me a BBM or WhatsApp message. I want to comment on this issue. Can I? Or police will arrest me. No? So now people are thinking twice before clicking that naughty like button. So first what used to happen, any of your friend writes something, just to appease him, we used to click that like button and be happy. Never read also what he has written. So now with that like button, the girl was also arrested and her friend was also arrested because she clicked on like. So everybody knows clicking on like is actually abetting the crime, is helping him to reach more people. So sending offensive messages, punishment for sending offensive messages through communication service. It's all broad. It doesn't talk about Wi-Fi, network, telepathy. It's all broad and vivid. Communication service. WiMAX, we talk about everything, left open. So my act can persist for next 100 years, whatever technology comes. So any person who sends by means of computer resource or communication device any offense which is grossly offensive and has menacing character. Now the problem here is, you really can't define what is grossly offensive. Because what is a grossly offensive for a police constable or for a police commissioner may not be offensive for a police constable. What can be a grossly offensive to a GP, that is general practitioner doctor, would not be offensible to some other doctor. Yeah. So any information which is grossly offensive and menacing character will fall under section 66A of it. Actually this section was made for anti-spam and Facebook abuse and defamation. So all these sections are actually been covered in this blog defamation. So 66A is the actual, and my dear friends, these are the wordings cut, copy, pasted from Britain's, UK's act. Only our great Mr. A. Raja, increased the fine from 6 months to 3 years. Okay, so that is what he has done when he was the minister, when he was having the ministry with him, when the amendment came to him. I've been told I've got 2 minutes, so 66B is for mobile computer theft. You can also put an IT act. 66C is for identity theft. Whatever you are reading right now about credit card and debit card frauds or online banking frauds, 66C has been applied. So 66C is applied for identity theft. Okay, it's applied for fake Facebook profile even. I told you about cyber terrorism. That's it. I'll stop my session here. Any questions? Thank you.